stay.
Mm-mm. Oh my God.
And then I started doing my research and I started talking to other victims. I should have never signed that non disclosure agreement, but I did. I took the blood oath, and so did my first husband,
Whoa.
and I left.
That's why it ain't never been right since, because you left
Exactly.
it. You don't leave
Exactly.
anything like that.
I did. And he was paid to be.
Everybody already knows 50 Cent and Jay-Z never saw things the same way. And with fresh allegations swirling around Jay, 50 wasted no time jumping into the conversation. This is the beef that refuses to die. 50 Cent versus Jay-Z, and it all goes back to the roots. In 1999, 50 wasn't a superstar yet, not even close. He was still Curtis Jackson, grinding hard in the underground, moving with hunger and carrying the weight of surviving 9 gunshots while chasing a breakout at any cost. Instead of playing safe, he dropped a bold record called How to Rob, a slick satirical track where he imagined sticking up rap's biggest names to finance his rise. And yes, Jay-Z was on that list. It was never a real threat, just sharp strategy, using name drops to shake the industry and force people to pay attention. And it worked. Jay-Z, who was riding high at the time with albums like Volume 3, The Life and Times of S. Carter, heard the record and clearly took it personal. The response came fast and loud when Jay fired back during a freestyle at Hot 97 Summer Jam in 1999, dropping a line that would lock this rivalry into hip-hop history forever. Now peep this part closely. When 50 Cent was asked to describe Jay-Z in just a few words, his answer shocked people. He didn't say the best like he did for Eminem or Nas. He didn't say loyalty like he said about Tony Yayo. He simply said good business. That was it. And if you know 50, you know nothing he says is random. Every word is chosen carefully. Every pause is intentional. Every sentence has weight behind it. But here's the twist most people sleep on. Back in 2003, when 50 Cent sat down with Rolling Stone, he actually said Jay-Z's response didn't bother him at all. In fact, he took it as a compliment. 50 explained that if Jay had ignored him, that would have meant he wasn't a real threat. To him, the response was proof that he mattered. He straight up said that Jay clapping back helped validate his rise, and without that moment, his career might not have exploded the way it did. And exploded it did. By 2003, 50 Cent was locked in with Shady Aftermath, moving like a force you couldn't stop. His debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, sold over 9 million copies in the US alone. The project had the streets going wild, the clubs on repeat, and everyone watching closely. That track, In the Club, wasn't just a hit, it was everywhere, all at once. Even Jay-Z saw it coming. In a 2013 interview with The Breakfast Club, Jay admitted he warned his Rockefeller artists like Beanie Siegel and Memphis Bleek about what was next. He told them they had a small window to shine because 50 was coming fast. And just months later, In the Club dropped and the game shifted overnight. Now here's where it gets interesting. You'd expect the beef to spiral into something ugly, right? But that's not what happened. Instead, these two heavyweights found common ground. They co-headlined the Rock the Mic tour in 2003 and even shared screen time in a Reebok commercial, freestyling over In the Club together. No chaos, no explosions, just two power players recognizing the moment and playing it smart. But even during those so-called peaceful moments, 50 just couldn't resist throwing jabs. He later bragged that his G-Unit sneakers outsold Jay-Z's S. Carter line 6-1, and he said it like it was a scoreboard update. That's classic 50 behavior. Even when things look cool on the surface, he's always counting wins, always watching closely, and he never forgets a single detail. Fast forward a few years, and the energy between them starts shifting again. By the mid-2000s, both weren't just rappers anymore. They were leveling up into full-blown moguls. 50 was diving into TV production and expanding the G-Unit brand beyond music. At the same time, Jay-Z was building Roc Nation and turning himself into what many call the blueprint for hip-hop business success. Two giants, two empires, moving in different lanes but watching each other closely. And here's where it gets spicy. Even with occasional collaborations, like Jay-Z hopping on a remix of 50 Cent's I Get Money in 2007, that tension never really disappeared. It stayed simmering.
One little fact. I actually have verifiable knowledge of all 15 of Mr. Carter's illegitimate children that he hides from.
50 started taking slick shots in interviews, questioning Jay's music and even creeping into personal territory, keeping the pressure on. Then in 2008, 50 said something that had people doing double takes. He claimed that most people didn't really know who Jay-Z was before a certain point. Let that sink in. He was talking about a man with multiple platinum albums and legendary status. 50 was basically saying Jay's fame hit a new level only after marrying the biggest pop star on the planet. And what made it louder, 50 didn't walk it back. Years later, he doubled down on the same exact point, standing firm like he said what he said. Hear this clearly. 50 is basically saying Jay-Z's shift from street rapper to polished business icon didn't just happen on his own. According to 50, that glow-up came from who Jay married. The Grammys, the praise, the industry respect, the elite treatment. In 50's eyes, all of that traces back to the Beyonce connection. That's a bold claim, and it hits hard because he's not saying Jay lacked talent. He's saying the spotlight got way brighter after that move. Now look, Jay-Z fans might be feeling tense right now, and that's understandable, but slow down, because this is only the beginning.
15 years old, flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room, auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl.
With no parental consent.
Nobody. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone.
Things take a sharper turn when you look at what 50 Cent has been saying lately about Jay-Z and his ties to certain, let's call them questionable situations. That's where the conversation stops being casual and starts getting serious. The Super Bowl sabotage and those slick painter comments. This is where it really turns up. So boom, let's set the stage. It's 2022, and the Super Bowl halftime show is shaping up to be one of the biggest moments in music history. We're talking Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar, all sharing one stage. This wasn't just a West Coast victory lap. It was a full-on celebration of hip-hop culture as a whole. Now here's where things get weird. Logic says 50 Cent, one of the most iconic artists to ever come out of the game, should have been an automatic pick, no debate. But according to multiple reports, and according to 50 himself, that didn't happen so smoothly. 50 claims Jay-Z actually tried to block him from performing at the Super Bowl, and that's a serious allegation. For 2019, Roc Nation, Jay-Z's company, has been in charge of producing the Super Bowl halftime show. Catch this part. Eminem, 50's day one guy, the same man who signed him to Shady Records, had to step in and draw a hard line. He reportedly said he wasn't touching that Super Bowl stage unless 50 was part of it. That's real loyalty right there. That's brotherhood, not industry talk, not fake smiles, real backing when it counts. But it gets even wilder. When 50 Cent sat down on Big Boy TV and broke the whole thing down, he didn't sugarcoat anything. He explained that the NFL claimed they had
surgeons looking for a new life, Jay-Z too, Beyonce too, and we're gonna round up all the See, I love a good gay man. I just can't stand him. And that's what it is.
Would that be?
You want to know what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
issues with him. But here's the thing. He said nobody could even explain what those issues actually were. No clear reason, no straight answer, just vague excuses floating around. And then 50 leaned in and dropped a comment that instantly had people talking heavy. The tone shifted, the room got quiet, and listeners knew he was about to say something that wasn't random at all. Every word felt measured, sharp, and intentional, like he was pulling the curtain back just a little more. Nobody had the kind of impact they had, and that's just facts. When G-Unit was at its peak, they were moving units at a level the industry wasn't ready for. The combination of Eminem, Dr. Dre, and 50 Cent wasn't just successful, it was a straight-up juggernaut. That type of dominance shifts power, changes rules, and makes people uncomfortable. And according to 50 and those close to him, that level of success created long-term tension. In their view, Jay-Z never stopped seeing that camp as real competition, even years later. And 50 isn't the only one raising eyebrows. Another New York legend, Cameron, recently stirred things up by saying Jay-Z loves money more than hip-hop. He pointed out how Jay showed up to perform at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ceremony, yet didn't appear at any hip-hop 50 celebrations. That contrast hit a nerve. Tony Yayo backed that sentiment, highlighting the gap between Jay's distance from the culture and 50's constant presence with fans in the streets. But the shots didn't end there. 50 also aimed straight at Jay-Z's music. In 2017, after Jay dropped his deeply personal album 4.44, 50 didn't exactly clap it up. He posted, then deleted an Instagram video where he joked that listening to 4.44 felt too smart, saying it sounded like music made for people in glasses and sweaters tied around their waist. He even called it golf course music, basically saying Jay had drifted so far from the streets that his sound now connected more with country club crowds than regular hip-hop fans. The allegations and the so-called Mufasa moment, this is where ears really perked up. When 50 Cent was asked directly about the allegations tied to Jay-Z, his answer instantly caught attention. He said, "That was interesting. I didn't when I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet like while the Buffy thing was going on." But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also, you know? So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally, those accusations are crazy. Every word landed heavy.
Jay-Z is estimated to be worth around $2.5 billion, officially making him hip-hop's first billionaire. And that fact alone changes how people judge this whole situation. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's net worth is often placed around $40 to $50 million, and critics love pointing at that gap. They say 50's energy comes from jealousy, frustration, or bitterness over Jay building a massive empire, while 50 took a few financial hits along the way. That's the angle people push, loud and confident. But 50 sees it completely differently. From his perspective, money doesn't buy immunity. He's been clear that no amount of success, fame, or billions should shield anyone from accountability. To him, this isn't about who's richer, it's about who gets questioned and who never does. And that mindset is exactly why this beef feels deeper than charts or contracts. At this point, the tension between 50 Cent and Jay-Z goes way beyond music industry rivalry. This is about legacy, power, and who really represents the culture. 50 has positioned himself as the guy willing to ask uncomfortable questions that most people are scared to touch. Some see him as a truth teller, others call him a professional instigator, but either way, he's not backing off. Jay-Z, on the other hand, has continued to deny all allegations and has mostly stayed silent when it comes to 50's constant shots. And knowing 50, that silence probably hits harder than any response ever could. Legal matters are still playing out. Nothing is settled yet, and time is the only thing that will reveal what sticks and what doesn't. What's clear is this story is nowhere near finished. 50 Cent is still working on his documentary, still lighting up social media, and still keeping these conversations front and center where everyone can see him. This saga isn't fading quietly, it's evolving in real time. That's the full breakdown of why 50 Cent feels the way he does about Jay-Z. Now it's your turn. Do you think 50 is speaking truth to power, or is he locked in on tearing down another successful black man? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives like this.
The Diddy documentary may have wrapped things up on the surface, but 50 Cent made it clear he's nowhere near finished. He's out here teasing unreleased tapes, raw footage, and moments so intense that some rappers allegedly walked away in tears. We're talking about shocking recordings, including the clip that leaked last year, showing Diddy and Meek Mill in a compromising situation that instantly set the internet on fire. At the time, Meek moved fast to shut it down. He jumped online claiming the clip was fake, calling it AI, blaming bots, and saying there was a coordinated smear campaign against him. Remember when he wrote, "Ox, my voice so powerful as a black man from the ghetto worldwide, they want it gone. I'm a real king straight out the trenches, under control of no human. They learned how to damage Can't Stop Us of brands from bots and campaigns like politicians. Strong words, powerful energy, heavy message, strong confidence, no hesitation." But here's the issue. The internet wasn't convinced. People weren't reacting off vibes alone. They were locked in on the details. The audio didn't sound random, edited, or artificial to a lot of listeners. And then whispers started spreading that someone from inside that party, allegedly a security guard, claimed he personally recorded the footage himself. Once that rumor hit, the conversation shifted from denial to suspicion, and things spiraled fast. And that's when Jaguar Wright straight up poured gasoline on the situation and watched it explode. She came out swinging, claiming Meek's ex, Nicki Minaj, was allegedly the one pulling strings behind the scenes, saying Nicki supposedly paid the bodyguard and helped set the whole leak in motion. Heavy claim, zero chill, and instantly the internet was on edge. What really cranked things up was Nicki later jumping on a podcast and laughing it off, joking that Meek loves controversy and didn't seem bothered at all by the leaked audio. She kept it playful, brushed it aside, but that casual energy had people side-eyeing hard, wondering why the situation felt way too comfortable for something this messy. Then academics jumped straight into the chaos, and you already know when Ock talks, he talks reckless. He started hinting that Meek was allegedly Diddy's favorite boy toy, tossing that line out there with zero filter and letting the internet run wild with it. Meek snapped instantly and completely lost control online, firing off emotional posts and making extreme statements about harming himself, which only shocked people even more. That public meltdown backfired fast. Every reaction just made things look messier, like he was trying to bury something instead of letting the noise fade. He even floated this bold idea of putting up $100,000 for a full investigation to clear his name. Big money, big confidence, big promises. But after that, nothing. No proof, no updates, no follow-up, just dead silence.